leave us. We love you. We love you.
Well, there's still McNeil. I almost did the Canadian national tour. Yes.
Wait, you were gonna play with it?
Yeah.
As who?
Rum Tum Tugger.
Oh, shut up!
That was a long time ago. He's a curious cat. Down there, spray cheese!
Hello.
Look at, I'm like, hello, can you hear me now? Good. Check. Is it wrong that I find none sexy?
Yes.
Thank you. I had a feeling it probably was, but you have a pineapple growing out of your head. I haven't seen that in a long time, or a long period. I know I am about it.
Hey, Scott.
I'm doing it again. Because apparently there is no microphone. There is left to blow away with the majesty of the voice. Are we ready to start?
Yeah!
Lock the doors and pump in the gas.
Wunderbar.
It's all over again.
Woo!
Let's deal with that airline food, huh? Yeah, I just broke up with my girlfriend. That was rough.
Oh.
Great relationship, but I'm a comic and I needed the material. Bobby Gennaro, the world's worst stand-up comic. I love you guys. We love you more. No, I love you more.
I love you more.
No more. Love you more than chocolate.
I love you more than bacon.
This will be my microphone for the day. Spray cheese.
I love you more than that.
We all have our vices.
I did that once in Florida. I learned a lot about physics that day. When you have some spray cheese sitting in incredibly high heat and humidity, and I'm like, blah, 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 it went, boom. Well, the whole town was being more, oh, now I've got cat songs running through my head. Memories all alone in the moonlight. Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm going to keep saying this a lot until I figure out where I am and what I'm doing. You guys look amazing. Well, I'm just going to sit here and stare at you.
The feeling is mutual.
So this is apparently a Scott McNeil panel, and as soon as he gets here, I will introduce you. There he is! No, wait, hold on. Come on in, it's probably safe-ish.
I think I missed the wrong panel, actually.
It was nice having you, though. Thank you. Come again. Call if you get work. Fun stuff in the castle. Hi, Mouse. Which answers the, what's your favorite movie question?
Yes.
Where I found you unemployed in Greenland.
Bless you.
Can you do that again into the microphone? Back? Sweet. Alright, I'm dealing with the fact that there is no microphone. Voice actors get very nervous without microphones. And we have to converse like normal people. I find that terrifying.
There are no normal people here.
There are no normal. What is normal? Yeah. Hi. My name is Scott. I'm a... Oh, wait. No. Wrong meeting.
Wrong meeting.
My name is Scott McNeil. I am a voice actor. Have been so for 25 freaking years now. 25 years before the microphone, man and boy. That's right. When I started, we didn't have no fancy microphones. You held up the tape and you yelled there. That's right, tape. frighteningly true. I started off with, like back in the He-Man, G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
I'm
a real American hero.
Twice. And there's a cocktail called the Waspinator. I've done a bunch of stuff. I'm hoping that you know what stuff I've done because you guys are usually better at remembering that stuff than I am.
Reboot.
Reboot.
Oh my God!
Gun to win. My little pony.
And My Little Pony.
Right.
That's weird and huge. So I trust somebody's like, dude, drove up. I'm like, did I just throw up someone? Well, we've got opportunity in this very community. I'm Finn's playing with the fabulous Flim Flam brothers, traveling sales ponies non-borrowed. And the super speedy.
Super speedy cider squeezy.
6,000.
6,000. I remember the 6,000. I remember endlessly retaking, going, the super speedy. It's like, well, go up there. Shot less. Thank you. Good questions, because that saves me the bother of thinking. Yes, you young man in the
I
back.
ask this on the behalf of everybody else. What are you taking, and can you get us, the rest of us, a recipe for it?
Yeah, please do. Why didn't you share? Why didn't you bring it?
It's just cheese.
It's just cheese.
Squeeze
I
cheese
can't
and
see
sugar,
the
baby.
better.
Don't forget the aerosol.
I don't even drink tea. Although once at a panel in Florida, somebody went, oh, Scott likes Monster drinks. And I honestly don't drink tea. Caffeine and me are like, woo. So I'm doing the panel and it's like, oh, okay, I was over there. It was like, oh, Scott loves 5. I drank 5 in an hour.
Oh my God!
The next 3 days of my life. I mean, I was
Is your
listening
heart
up in
still in
the
one
hotel
piece?
room, just like bouncing along. It was like apparently the worst Coke jag.
Drinks in a padded room.
My energy comes from you guys. There's a normal in real life. It's frightening. Hi.
Hi.
You're colorful.
I'm Mouse. Reboot.
You know, it's one of those things that as I'm saying it and as you start to say, I'm going, it's freaking Mouse. I love Mouse. She was super hot and sexy.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
if Hack and Slash had lower bodies, I'm just saying.
I just, you probably have mentioned this a million times, but what got you into voice acting? I mean, was it your upbringing?
I've used this line quite a few times that I do for a living when I used to get kicked out of school for, you know? Yeah. I've done voices since I was a little kid. I went 4 years of full-time theatrical training. I studied my Shakespeare, my classics. I was going to tread the boards and be a serious actor. So I was unemployed. This is a true story, I got kicked out of theater school for doing too many voices and accents. It's a little bit like Meryl Streep. You're like, seriously, dude, what's your real voice? And they went, you'll never make it as an actor.
They were just jealous that they weren't that good.
Yeah.
Excuse me! Excuse me! Oh God, I thought it for a second. So I literally, if I say the word literally one more time, somebody could just shoot me for turning into a 14-year-old girl. I had done a radio play, because there was no voiceover industry in Vancouver at the time.
No gun.
And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I went, you know what, I do all these voices and I do accents and stuff. And my phone agent said, you know, maybe radio. We get some radio commercials and stuff. The Reader's Digest condensed version of the story. I went in, auditioned for something. I met a guy named Doug Parker, who was Terrace on these videos. But I was just, being me and throwing characters and stuff, was shooting out of my ears. And he's like, wow, I wish I'd met you like a week ago. And I'm like, wow, thanks, why? He's like, well, I just finished doing some casting on G.I. Joe. And I'm like, yeah, right, like what, the cartoon? Yep. So they were just getting things started, and I went in and auditioned for, first thing was a thing called Kissy Fur, which Kathy actually did. The director scared the hell out of me, so I said I'm never going to do that again. And then I went in for The New Adventures of He-Man.
Yes!
You did not! I got that, and that was, 10,000 episodes ago. And, I've been lucky, essentially. Because if I wasn't doing for a living what I'm doing, I would be spending a lot of time in small, padded rooms screaming. But I get paid for it! And a lot! So it's a bit of luck, a bit of timing, a bit of talent thrown in, I suppose. And being in the right place at the right time, saying the right thing to the right person in the right way. And all of a sudden I'm from Yorkshire. I don't know why this is what I have to do for it.
Yes, I do.
I come up with new stuff when I'm driving. I drive a convertible. I don't look at the man in the car, honey. He's crazy. He's talking to himself. I heard a whole conversation with only one of them sitting there. My neighbors think I'm a drug dealer. It's true. I own a very nice house. I have some nice toys to drive and ride and play upon. I keep very strange hours. I don't seem to work any regular job. I look like I look. And they hear some of the strangest stuff coming from my house. And they honestly, they're like, he's some crazy drug dealer. It's like, it's worse. I'm a children's entertainer. Your children are watching Dragon Tales right now.
Yes, they are.
Anybody ever watch Dragon Tales?
Yeah.
It's sick of
I
them.
wish I did.
Like a tree and leaf.
My son watches.
So that's what I do for a job. Beats the heck out of working for it. So does that answer your question at all?
Yes, thank you.
And then it's just, as the industry started to pick up momentum, suddenly people were going, wait a minute, actors don't drive cars like that. What's this that people have started, really, and then the talent pool in Vancouver was growing. So now when I auditioned, well, hello.
Hi.
You didn't call, you didn't write, you could have been lying bleeding in a ditch for all that. Rory!
Again.
More of the gas, please. Was I answering the question? Have I mentioned the fact that I'm a little ADOS? Oh, shame. I almost followed you around for like half an hour. I was like, I'm trying to get to the bathroom. It's so beautiful.
Are you freaking
ADOS, for
serious?
those who don't know, is attention deficit. Oh, shame. Hello. Memories. It's gonna keep happening. You know what? It's funny, and I'll be honest. Like doing Gundam was at the time just like any other dubbing job. We had no idea that it was going to be anything. And honestly, you're in a dark, cagey little room by yourself. And most of the work I did was pre-lay, where you're in with the whole cast. And it's so other than the confusion at the beginning of my going, I thought I was playing a dude. No, that is a dude, Scott. No, that's a gal. No, that's a dude. No, that's a dude. Well, he sure is party. But I actually did it. I did. It was one of the first shows I worked on where we had to do the two different versions. It's the sharp fumes and the spreadsheets. We had to do the broadcasts. The god of death is back from hell. We had to do the name, the great destroyer is
Back again.
Why?
What? I did enjoy the epic duo Death Scream. Yes. But it wasn't until I started coming to cons that I kind of, I
Do it.
Do it.
People are going like, what was your motivation on that? My ex-wife had run over my Harley once. When she was learning to drive
Is that why she's an ex-wife?
No, actually. I actually took it pretty well she was the one standing outside screaming. About her, but in the moment, she was coming out and was like, remember, it's everything in moderation. That'll be I'm going to pretend it never happened. Yes?
Did you imbue Wolverine with anything extra Canadian that was lost on the American audiences?
You know what I wanted to do with Wolverine? And people may have heard this before, because first of all, I didn't know Wolverine was Canadian when I got the gig. They were going like, Scott, you need to like tone down the twang and shit. I'm like, what? It's like, I'm Australian, man. I spent years learning how to not sound like a Canadian. So anyway, but they always know he's always like, hey, don't make me get all Canadian. If you really want to play him the way he should be, from Northern Alberta, give him 2 Ryan Cokes. Let me just frickin' pound you right now, man. You want to fucking go? Eat on you right now, eh? I've been there. That's how they talk. And they're nice people until you give them rye. Frickin' yeah, right now, schnick, man. So I just kind of did what hopefully worked. That was a cool gig to get. That was one of those, because it was cool before I started. You know, most things you land. I was like, oh, okay, hopefully this will turn into something. It was like, dude, oh yeah, you booked Wolverine. Yes. Oh, good God. Don't cross the beams. Thank you. Anybody got any club crackers? Yes, sir. I'm sorry for being like Mr. Pointy guy. Or I can just randomly shoot and spray cheese.
Yeah, what was your inspiration for Ali Alsachas? I mean, when you did the voice of Ali Alsachas, what really drove you to do that?
Money.
Good answer.
But to take the gig or how he was played?
How he was played.
I really liked doing him because, you know, by this point, you know, it was like, just going to make the money. And I played a, you know, huge range of stuff in my career, but in anime, I hadn't played somebody that was just kind of that real in that, like, he wasn't bad, he wasn't evil, he was just basically sociopathic. You know, so I mean, you know, it wasn't like I played, you know, some monstrous villain, you know. It was just sound like it because he was subtle. And he had gray hair, too. That's the secret to anime success, by the way, is play characters with gray hair. And we'll go far.
So true.
Yeah, well, Piccolo. Bear with me on this. The horrifying and ill-fated live-action film. Here's my thought. 2 ingredients. A can of green spray paint and Vin Diesel. It's frickin' Piccolo! He sounds right, he looks right.
It worked. Very
I don't know why they didn't do that.
Oh my
It's
God.
like, shh, there, you're done. Get out there and do it. So yeah, I kind of had fun with them, you know, and it's my own sociopath. Did you bring enough to share with the rest of the class? You're passing notes. Does that answer questions at all? Please tell me if I forget to answer things. Yes?
2 quick questions. One,
Blue.
which X-Men series were you hired to do Wolverine for?
Evolution.
I'm sorry?
X-Men Evolution.
Oh, that one.
Otherwise known as X-Men Babies.
That's the one.
Which they actually did. I was talking to Steve Bloom, and he was like, he goes, yeah, we did a baby's version. I played like 12-year-old Wolverine. That's a kid with an attitude, bro. Question the second.
Yeah, the second one is more of a commentary on Vin Diesel. For the life of me, I think the best role he ever did was the Iron Giant.
Oh,
He said
yes.
like maybe 6 words.
Yeah. I didn't know who he was, and then I watched that movie, and then they had the commentary, and he's like, oh, it was like going, I'm sorry, so what, you were the guy that grunted? Now he's going to find me in 100 again. Kill me. In a really fast car. All right, so the magic spray she says. Yes. Hi.
What episode of Supernatural did you play?
It was called Dead Men Wear Plaid, I think.
Oh my
I was in it like I was dead before the teaser trailer was over. But there was a great shot.
You're looking outside our trailer.
I'm looking outside the trailer, but the thing starts. I'm sitting in my fucking big old Barca lounger watching TV. And the camera pans along underneath my feet looking up. Now, if you look closely, there's a hole about this big in my pants. Work for Sharon Stone. That's going to be the weirdest picture ever taken.
Wait, you're at a con. We'll still a little longer.
Okay, so what goes on at con stays on YouTube. So that was, I just did an episode of Psych. We're psyched about. It's going to be funny. Like, I don't often say that about television, especially stuff that I've worked on. This is the 100th episode, and it's kind of a big deal. I can't say too much about it, but I got to work with some very cool people. And I died or didn't die in some very intriguing and interesting ways. Not all cartoon work. It's like, why would you do an hour and a half in a studio getting paid 3 times as much when you can spend 16 hours a day sitting around on set doing nothing to get paid for? That didn't come out right away.
Outside of
Shiny, sorry.
outside of like voice acting and the little cameo roles that you play on certain other shows,
Well, I got some bigger ones too.
I was gonna say, have you thought of like starring like in a sitcom or anything like that? Is she outside?
Something gets kind of fun when we go, hey, you know what? Yeah, you never heard of me, but I got this great idea. I'll bet you work for Seinfeld. I have starred in a couple of very forgettable movies. I did one years ago called Sleeping with Strangers, which is actually kind of funny. And there was talk at the time, people were going like, oh yeah, the next big thing. And that's a tough, that's a different industry entirely in which to do. Like, I don't even do stand-up. It scares me. I'm way too shy. I like to be in a small box with a microphone and glass between me and other human beings. Doing this is terrifying for me. It is. Not because you guys do, but I'm just like, I'm way shyer than people think. I think you cut most voice actors in half, and you either find a really narcissistic extrovert, or you find, it's like, why do you have 437 other personalities? Easier than mine. Yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, this kind of shows my age.
Jenny, what? That's her.
This kind of shows my age compared to everyone. The first thing I saw you in, well, not saw you in, heard you in was Ranma. I ordered them from the Viz catalog. I was wondering, could you tell us a little bit about Ocean Group? And I think they called it the word fit system, where they really first started.
I don't know a lot about the technical end of it. And the Ocean Group, just for, there's this confusion about it. Because, down in Texas, if you're a Funimation actor, you're a Funimation actor. So people tend to think that there is this thing, the Ocean Group. Ocean Studios happens to be one of about 15 different studios that we work in. It also happens to be a studio that has done a lot of the more popular anime that we've done. And I think Ocean Group is actually just their official legal title on stuff. So people tend to have this conception that the Ocean Group is this group of actors and we all live in this little house.
So it just so happened that a lot of the same actors just worked for that. Okay.
But it was always a case of auditioning. And,
could you say something about Ryoga? Like, why is he always lost? And
which one was Ryoga?
One turns into a pig.
Did I play him?
No.
Principal.
When you're doing dubbing, I mean, with Prelay, you're doing the whole show at the same time, and you're working with the entire cast, and you've got an entire script. Most of the time with dubbing, all I ever see is the lines of dialogue that my characters are saying, and all I ever see on screen is when their lips are moving. So you guys, wait, I've learned more about anime from you guys than you will ever learn from me. Because I'm just like, I just see the part where my mouth moves. That is it.
Did you play a ukulele when you were playing with the principal?
Well, yes, and I grew a small palm tree out of it. I am very good. The very first anime I ever did, outside of some weird tentacle stuff, was a show called Project Eco. I played not one, not two, but 3 different women on that show. That's where I went, this shit weird. Sorry, that's a quarter in the cuss box, my bad. So, you know, it's one of the beauties of being a voice actor is there really is nothing that you cannot do. You know, on camera, you know, these days, oddly enough, I tend to play, you know, people with long hair, and, you know, they're like, oh, you know what, great, oh, we loved him, but you know what, he was an 1/8 of an inch too short. I could be working on 12 different series concurrently and be playing like 6 different characters in each one. And if you're good, you know, and it's not all mud, it's like, that's, you know, I've played men, women, and galactic space beings. I did a show called Sushi Pack. I played, you did not.
Oh, yes.
Really? I played a small blob of crime-fighting wasabi. I was, you know, I was Grumpy Bear when I was playing Wolverine. That's the kind of way it works. So it's marvelous stuff. Marvelous. Look at you know. What did I just do that for? Oh, a show called Slugterania I played. Just Mr. Somebody. Anyway, this is my resume that pops into my head. Yes.
How do you feel about Japanese cuisine?
I love Japanese. Yeah, I really do. You know, dude, I'm from the West Coast. Nah, we live on sushi.
No.
You know, I have this general rule about sushi or seafood. It's like, I can't see an ocean out the window. Not the best idea in the world. Last night I had a... I started off with lobster bed, then I had lobster and crab cake, and then I had lobster taco. Then because the restaurant was awesome, they made me lobster ice cream. And it was good. And somebody else was saying, it's like, yeah, there's amazing seafood places in Ohio, so yes, I will get the information from you. Well, apparently we're being taken tonight to some Italian place where they just keep ramming food. Like that. Yeah, it's Coco.
Yeah, Buca de Beppo.
I'm a little terrified.
That place.
The place is amazing.
No, I know people say it's amazing, but it's like, no, it's like they just keep bringing food.
They
You better eat it.
Wear sweatpants.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brunel sweats too. That was good. Did that answer your question? I'm kidding about the eating. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Look for Rachel's huge fan. She's up here today. It's possible to get a shout out for me, please.
Sure.
All right. Can you say his Neil Maxwell? Anyone who sees me as David's maker.
All right.
Thank you.
It's gonna be weird. I mean, not that weird, but it's just gonna be weird because Rachel's gonna be going, what the heck is going on? Hey, Rachel. You know something? When you meet me, you need a date with your maker. But I will make you this promise. I will be the god of death once again. But right now, I need some cheese.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And hi, Rachel. Sorry, bye. I'm going to go deep, deep, deep into left field. Because I respect a man in a hat.
All right. When you guys did the Care Bears, did you ever watch the movies and the show that was in Toronto? Because I was a fan of those movies when I was a kid, and I'm actually good friends with a guy who was in both movies. He was the bad guy. And I watched some of the stuff that Ocean Group did because you remember it. So did you like him or do any of that?
I don't watch especially stuff that I'm in. I'm way too neurotic. Although I did watch Beast Wars, you know what I honestly did, and there's a show out now, I don't know if you guys get a lot of it down here, but it's called League of Super Evil. Somebody?
Okay, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't often say it, it's funny. I play the world's worst supervillain in that.
Rated powerful motel will not be denied.
Yeah, they did.
It was on Cartoon Network.
No, okay. So, where's I going with that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I forgot. No, actually, the gal that played our littlest bear, she was the original Sunshine Bear in the Toronto one. So, you know, there always are connections. I don't. I watch old school cartoons. I'm a milk like. Yes. She's a boxer, so be nice to her, because she will kill you.
Was there ever a role that you were dying to get and doing why?
Yeah, every role I ever auditioned for. As my ex-girlfriend used to say, we are polyphonic prostitutes. We'll work for money and cheese. So, I mean, I tend to, when I audition, people don't like auditioning after me because I will read for everything. Because I figured the more spaghetti you throw at the wall, one chance something's going to stick. Which is how I've ended up playing some of the weirder roles. There's a show called The Wacky World of Tex Avery.
Yeah.
Remember Freddy the Fly?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was Billy West. But remember Amanda Banshee, the old woman that he was always...
Yeah.
That was me.
Time to die.
Still, you know. Yeah, I was popular because it was not a lot of work for women back then because it was all like guy cartoons. They're just like, yeah, thanks. 2 roles for us. You took one. Where was I going with that? Help me, help me, help me. Completely lost my train of thought. Honestly, what question was I just answering? Yes, sorry. Oh, roles that I would. The role that I admire, you know, people ask, what's your favorite character that you never did? Was part of my plan to take over the world.
Brain.
I went all fanboy on Maurice when I first met him. My house is full of like little plastic me's. You know, action figures. Like it used to be when I had a bunch of stuff when you go into Target or Walmart and be like, need it, got it, got it, I have Pinky in the Brain stuff in my house. And then, yes.
How hard is it to get into voice acting? I did a little bit when I was a little younger.
Yeah.
How hard is it to break into the bigger arena?
It's not like it's this nepotistic closed shop.
Right.
People always say, you know, like Meg was like, well, it's always the thing side. No, it ain't, man. There's new people coming in all the time, and it's getting. So, you know, it is not easy. It's not like, you know, people I'll just show up in Texas and, you know, just go, hey, I'm a voice actor. You know, you got to put your time in and your work in. Some people just fall into it. You know, there's no set and fast rule for it. You know, I can't really speak so much for what it is like down here. You know, working in Texas is a very different scenario. You know, it's work to rule, it's non-union, and they do tend to, I know they have some general auditions at Funimation a couple of times a year, and they just go, hey, you know what, sure, you're in. Other than that, you know, voice work is not all cartoons. You know, I've done narration, and your shirt's staring at me.
It is.
Waspinator, which is a character that I'm proud of. I created him. He's kind of, you know, my legacy piece. Is now being voiced by SpongeBob SquarePants.
Waspinator, no one to live in pineapple and the sea.
Mine's going to be replaced by somebody. You know, why not? That's the funny part of the business. So, you know, perseverance, you do have to be where the work is. But, you know, I mean, radio commercials, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, I did radio, I did a little commercials, yeah.
Other than that, keep your mind clean and have pure thoughts. She's going like,
sorry.
She told me that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But you know, it can be done. You know, every year in Vancouver we get 1 or 2 people that's kind of pop in and suddenly, you know, they're right in the work and many of whom I trained. Now like duty class. I should have left you with a tragic flaw. A secret thing that only I can trigger. By devious mind control. Yes.
Is it true that Brad Swell made like a little plushie version of you?
Brad Swell made the most incredible plushie version of me I've ever seen, and I've had several. Believe me, I've owned some. But Brad's, I mean, he was like photo scanned and tattooed the best. Brad is unbelievably skilled at that kind of stuff, like freakishly good. And that got sold at an auction, and it got like $900, which was cool. But I'm going. And I'm going, so who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? It's like, nobody knew who this guy was. Just so shocked. Like, you sold somebody a voodoo doll of me? Which explains a lot of what's been happening in my life for the last year. Brad actually cosplayed as me once. He did it great, man. Just so good. Yes?
Yeah, getting back into the Gundam again. Sorry.
Back into the Gundam.
Sorry, but two things. First, who is your favorite Gundam character? It doesn't have to be somebody you played, but hopefully I'd like to hear it. And the second one is, hopefully I'd like to hear you say sucker as Ali Alsace.
Sucker.
Awesome.
There's your God now. I don't know. I think you can have whatever favorite pilot you want. I'm not personally offended if people like Hero over Duel. But when I ask you the question, which is the best Gundam?
Gundam Death Side.
And that's not my personal bias. It could be Death Side. But Death Side. Little signal from the back that we are getting close. So what we're going to do is go into my lightning round, which means you're going to ask incredibly fast questions, and I'm going to give you incredibly fast answers. Yes, go. Too late. Pardon me? Oh. Rachel again? Rachel Maxwell. People think that I'm messed up psychologically, but I swear to God, I've spoken to you 3 different times today. I don't know what's going on, but I will be the god of death once again. But right now, I need psychiatric help. Why aren't you here? Yes. Oh man, I know. Shut up, Brad. Get it done. Yes.
Follow their footsteps. I was I'm really good naked and his name is Brendan.
You know what? Can you be in the hallway?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because we need to. So I'm trying to get questions, and yeah, but I will. I told you. Yes. Is that your natural hair color?
No.
Damn.
The old McNeil cartoon, and what did you think of it?
I was in it.
Yeah.
Of course I like it. McNeil will take over the world. Yeah, nice try, Doc. Wait a minute, Proto Man was cool Maxwell, wasn't he? And he turned into Waspinator. It was a fun show to work on. I actually did 3 different versions. At one point I was Dr. Wilder with a British accent. It was a strange everything, you know, one of those things that... Okay, and yes, and then yes, and then yes. Okay.
Swords or guns?
Mind you, I am that rarity. I'm a Canadian who owns handguns. Yes. What color socks am I wearing? Gray. Ask about the underwear. Yes. Pardon me?
Pie or cake?
Pie. Okay.
How many tattoos do you have?
Pardon me?
How many tattoos do you have? Tattoos.
Well, 3 that you can see. I have 2 on my legs, 1 on my arm, and a tattoo of Scott McNeil's face. Seriously, check it out, man. I can make it move and shit. Yes.
Spray cheese or regular?
Do you have to ask me that? Believe it or not, I'm a bit of a connoisseur. There's a place in Vancouver called Les Amis de Fromage, which is this amazing, which is right next door to Ocean Studios. And my friend Cheesy Rob works there. And I have like amazing, it's ridiculous. And he also tends to pepper my car with cheese stickers when I'm working. But you know what? I also have a cover full of spray cheese. So.
Who's more badass, the Joker or the Batman?
Oh, come on. Yeah. You know what, Joker? Yes.
Who do you think's a better pilot, either Maxwell or Sanchez?
Well, one of them dies. Are we in panic mode?
Yeah, we've got a really big line for the next game.
Okay, 2 questions. Go, start.
Do Galley from Monster Ranger.
Golly, what's the mouse? But it had to do with it. When you're doing dubbing, having the lip flaps and everything, you know, and there's always a lot of screaming. I did a character named Golly on Monster Rancher who was the dream because A, he had no mouth, because B, he had no face, C, he wore a mask, and he never talked louder than this. Last question, yes?
DC or Marvel?
I'm lying about the last question, by the way, yes?
DC or Marvel?
Marvel. And from the memories.
Which character do you think is more epic, He-Man or Skeletor?
Skeletor.